Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mark here from 20 something Finance POC. And what I do in this channel is I go through specific finance topics that I'm interested in to help both myself and you learn a little bit more about your finances, especially with a view towards educating and empowering people of color. And today, what I want to talk about is why you're still broke in 2022. And before I get started, this isn't meant to be a diss at anyone. It's not meant to be an attack to you. You might be in the same position, you might not. It's just really to talk about how people are, I think, missing out on a few things that are holding them back and preventing them from being as successful as they could be with their finances otherwise. And so today I'm going to talk about why you're still broke in 2022. And one of the really big reasons I think that is we're all paying the government in taxes more than we pay ourselves. Now, that seems a little controversial. It seems like I'm saying don't pay your taxes, and 100% that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is there's a way that we can sort of switch this around so you're paying yourself more of the share instead of the government. So you can not be broke going into 2022. First of all, before I start this video, I'm a new YouTube creator and I'm starting to create content like this. And so if you're interested in supporting a new creator, again, my name is Mark from 20 something Finance POC. If you like content like this, I'd love it if you could give this video a like. It would help out massively for the YouTube algorithm. If you want to hear or see more videos like this, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. You know, if you've got some ideas about why people are broke in 2022, you can leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. And so just to get right into the video, there's a stat that I think a lot of us are really aware of, which is 61% of Americans today can't come up with $1,000 for an emergency. That to me is just absolutely crazy, but it's a reality of the world that we live in. And that's Americans in general. And that stat has actually gone up over time. It used to be 57%. And over time, more and more Americans are struggling with their finances to where they can't come up with $1,000 for an emergency. You might be on this boat, you might know someone who's on this boat. And I just think that's a really difficult place to live. And as someone who's been there and lived there myself, it's something that we want to try to get out of as soon as possible. But 61% of Americans can't come up with $1,000 for an emergency. Almost the same amount, 62% of Americans say that they're living paycheck to paycheck. As in, at the start of every month, you get your money, and at the end of the month, you got more month left than you've got money left. And so that's a really challenging place to be in, right? People are struggling with the amount of money that they have in their savings accounts. And really, the question is why, right? We live in the United States. It's the industrial capital of the world. There's so many different opportunities, businesses, jobs that you can get, great career opportunities, and people have them, and yet still 61% of Americans can't come up with $1,000. And really, I wanted to talk about why. Is it the dreaded latte factor? Are people spending too much money on their coffees every day and so can't come up with money for emergencies? Is it big corporations not paying their fair share? What is it? And so what I did was I went into some of my research in some of the books that I thought really educated me when I was trying to figure out how to tackle my finances. You see that this is a new year. You're seeing my Christmas tree in the back that I've got to figure out what to do within the last couple of days. And so a lot of people are thinking about their finances. And this is a book that I highly recommend, The Richest Man in Babylon, which is really about the secrets of how you can earn more, learn more, and grow your wealth over time. And so one of the passages in The Richest Man in Babylon, a passage in which the main characters in one of the short stories was trying to determine how to make more money. And he reached out to another individual, a money lender who had money, and asked him what the secret was. And so the money lender said, I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earn was mine to keep, and so will you. Let me just pause right there. That to me is so profound, right? A part of all I earn is mine to keep. But what's interesting there is you might have the same reaction that the main character in this short story had when he heard this phrase, which is that all? I asked. But all I earn is mine to keep, is it not? Right? So if I'm earning the money, isn't it mine to keep? It's mine. I have it now. And so I love what the moneylender said next. Far from it, he replied, do you not pay the garment maker? Do you not pay the sandal maker? Do you not pay for the things that you eat? Can you live in Babylon without spending? What do you have to show for your earnings of the past month? What about for the past year? Fool. You pay everyone but yourself. Dullard, you labor for others. And man, is that powerful. What he's really saying here is when you come right down to it, the money that you're earning is really not yours to keep because you're paying it out to Macy's for your clothes, right? Or Aldi or Lidl for your groceries or health products or what have you. You're going out and spending on your, your car bill or your insurance or your rent. All of these things are things that take money away from you. And so you actually don't get to keep it. And the central premise of this book is really, or one of the central premises is the only money that is yours to keep is the money that you do keep, as in savings. And so what's really interesting is that's the kind of secret to success that they talk about, right? Is keeping more of your money. What's interesting though is a lot of us, it's hard to keep our money, right? If you're early in your career, if you're, someone from an underprivileged background like I was, if you're someone who's just getting started, you've got a lot of places to spend your money on. You've got to spend it on food, on housing, on your car, if you've got a car payment or insurance or gas, on your student loans. And we know that's a huge problem. I'm going to have a separate video just focused on student loans, your hair or your grooming habits, or just plain old entertainment. You end the long day of work and you need something to do to give yourself a little bit of entertainment at the end of the day, besides watching this video and hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm. These are all the things that your money could be going to. And what's interesting is when I looked at my own spending, I was spending money on all these things, right? And so when I was trying to figure out at the end of the year, where did all my money go? These are all the things that I found that I was spending on. But even more than those, I found that I was paying a big chunk of my money to Uncle Sam, our favorite tax collecting uncle. And so what's interesting about that is, hey, listen, I'm not telling you not to pay your taxes. But what I am telling you is here are some stats that I found about the tax expense for most Americans versus how much they actually save themselves. And I just wanted to put these stats out there because I just think they're interesting. And I think there's something that you should consider. So here's an article about the US tax wedge. And don't worry about what that means. It really just is talking about how much money is coming out of your paycheck before it gets to you. What it says is for the average single US worker after taxes and benefits, 77.6% of their gross salary came to them, which means if you do the math, right? And you can pause and do the math here. If you're really good at math, you can do it out. 22.4% went to primarily taxes that the average person is paying into the government. And listen, I'm not here saying that's good, that's bad, the money's being used. But what I am saying is 22.4% every single week or biweekly, if you get paid biweekly, it's going to the government. And guess what most Americans are keeping for themselves or paying themselves? What they're paying themselves at the end of the day is the average personal savings rate in America, which pre-panorama was 7.4%. We don't say that word on this channel. We're trying to get monetized. So pre-panorama, the personal savings rate was 7.4%. Now, if you're a real math whiz, you can take the two numbers, 22.4 and 7.4, and divide those out. And what you'll find is the average American is spending or paying the US government 3 times as much as they're paying themselves at the end of the month, at the end of the year, at the end of the day. And that to me is just absolutely mind-blowing. Now, again, I'm not saying taxes are bad. You need to pay your taxes. Taxes pay for a lot of things that we get use from on a day-to-day basis. But what I am saying is there's ways that you can pay yourself more relative to what you pay Uncle Sam. And it's really about, is your money going in a way that you can feel comfortable with? The question is, how do I solve this? And so one of the ways that you can pay yourself more than you pay Uncle Sam, and I'll caveat here legally, because we're not trying to break any laws here. So one of the ways you can pay yourself more is, again, from that book, The Richest Man in Babylon. This is a follow-on to that same conversation with a money lender. His name is Algamesh. Algamesh, the money lender, said, if you did keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, as in, if you make $100, if you keep 10% or $10 of it, how much would you have in 10 years? So if you kept 1/10 of all you earn every single year, how much would you earn in 10 years? Asked Algamesh, the money lender. And then the main character answered, my knowledge of numbers did not forsake me. And I answered, as much as I earn in 1 year. That makes sense, right? So you can save a tenth of what you earn in a year. In 10 years, you'll earn 1 year's worth of salary. And so that makes a lot of sense, right? So if you work 10 years, you can take a year off and take a vacation. You got enough money to cover that. But, and here's a really interesting but, and this is where investments come in. If you don't put your money in a savings account or under the mattress, you can put them in investments. And I'll talk about in this channel how you can go about doing that. What the money lender says is, you speak but half the truth, he retorted. Every gold piece you save is a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is its child's that can also earn for you. If you would be wealthy, then what you save must earn, and its children must earn, that all may help to give you the abundance you crave. Man, is that powerful. Really, let me break that down into English, because that's a little bit difficult if you're not coming from a finance or an investing background. What this is saying is, it's not enough for you to just take your money 10% and put it in the bank and save it. You've got to put that money to work so it can work for you. And the way to put that money to work is you've got to invest in things like businesses, like interest-bearing accounts, high interest yield accounts that can make money for you. And that money can then get reinvested and make money for you as well. You may have heard of the concept of compound interest. It's something that you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube. You can't watch a video or see a post on finance without hearing compound interest. Really, what all it means is your money is working for you. And that allows you to pay yourself more than you pay out to other sources. And I just think that's massively, massively powerful. There's many different options for you to invest in. And this is just a very high level video, and I'll go into these more in detail, but there's tons of different options to invest in. You can invest in your 401k. You can invest in a Roth IRA. And I'll talk about what these are. These are traditional retirement accounts that allow you to save your money for retirement in a tax advantaged way. So you can not only increase what you pay yourself, but also decrease what you pay Uncle Sam legally. And that's the most important part. And finally, outside of those accounts, there's also third-party accounts like Vanguard or Fidelity. These are sort of old school brokers. I use them. They're great. Or Robinhood, which is a newer account, which I absolutely love. I'm such a big fan of. Allows you to automatically invest in some of the top stocks out there and invest as little as $5, $1, $10 at a time automatically from your bank account every single week. I use it. I've given it to my friends. If you haven't seen Robinhood, it's so user intuitive. I've got a link down below that you can use to download the Robinhood app and set up your own account. And it'll give you a little bit of a bonus, a free stock. It'll give me a little bit of bonus as free stock. But really, I mean, I do this for free because I think it's a fantastic platform for new folks who are getting into investing to just try it out and be able to save. But you're welcome to use anything else. Vanguard's great. Fidelity's great. There's tons of great options to invest. Really, the important part is not where you put your money, but how much money you're able to put aside. And really, that's the central premise to paying yourself first, to paying yourself before you pay anyone else, to saving or paying yourself more than you pay the government. And so guys, that's it for me today. If you like this video, if you could do me a massive favor and hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, hugely, hugely help me out. If you want to see more content like this, I know this is a short video, but I've got a ton of content and a ton of unique original ideas coming up that I'm hoping you'll really enjoy. And so if you wouldn't mind taking a second and hitting the subscribe button or the notification bell if you want to hear more about this, I'm going to try to stick to a weekly schedule for these videos going forward. And again, guys, I'd love to hear from you. So in the comments, so if you've got an opinion, if you got an idea, you think I've messed up here, or I'm trying to tell people not to pay the taxes, which I'm not, what I'd love you to do is go in the comments below and let me know, and let's have a conversation. Let's figure this out.